I forgot to plug it in. I was like, oh, my laptop's fine. And then I just totally forgot about it. And it just went, poof.
Welcome everyone. My name is Jay, and my co-host is.
John Holland. How's it going, everybody? We were on previously, and I was kind of driving the bus, and I was terrible. And I forgot to plug my laptop in, and it died. Mid funny story.
If you're on, come say hi. I know that we probably got pushed down a few times there, so I think that we're live now on all three channels. So we are on the Casino Industry Canada group, which is at what was the number, John?
1471.
Woo! 1471. That's a lot of people. I think that's capacity at a casino, isn't it? Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining our group there. As well, hello, family and friends on my personal Facebook account. I just put this live just so that you guys can say hi. If you're in the casino, if you're not in the casino, just come say hi. I miss you. I haven't seen a lot of you in a long time. And finally, the Casino Dealer J channel. We broke 100 subscribers. I started it in April. That's pretty cool. I'm really happy with how it's going. I promise to put out some more content. I know we talk a lot, long-winded conversations and stories and everything, and that's cool. But there's more to it than that with the channel. So then, stay tuned. I'll keep adding some more content and bring in some new guests that you haven't seen. So some really cool ones coming up. So yeah, John, 12 people, come say hi. Say hi on the comments. Last week we didn't really get the chance to give away the gift card. So I really want to give away the gift card. Oh, now, see, like half the people left. Jeez. That's up and down. It's like every time I bring up my kid's gift card, people like jump off. Okay, fine. You know what? For you guys that weren't on, too bad. When you watch the replay, you're gonna know. It's like I'm giving away a gift card today. We'll figure it out. I'm gonna set up the roulette video, and hopefully I'm gonna add myself into this with the third computer, and then I'm hoping this works, John, because it's gonna be pretty fun. And I don't even remember what the payout is, so.
Oh, I'm for sure probably won't.
So we went through a few topics already, and I think I do want to go back to, you did post something in the group, and we didn't really talk too much about it, but it was Christmas, working at Christmas. How many Christmases did you work in the casino?
I worked one in a land-based one, and if you were on this talk, this live earlier, I told you my story about the video is really choppy, so I don't know what's going on with that. I blame Shaw.
Shaw, hey?
Yeah, so the video is really choppy, so I don't know what's going on. It was okay downstairs when I was in my basement, but it's anyway. So, I'm gonna try and change.
Are you okay? Are you gonna reset? Yeah. Oh, hey, that's you saying I'm gonna change Wi-Fi. That's cool. Hey, 10 people and the 1 like. Thank you so much for joining John and I tonight. We were on for a while, but I'm not gonna say what John did, but that's okay. We're back now. John's gonna reset. He'll jump. I'm giving away some stuff today. I hope that you're on, but just come say hi in the comments, and then we'll pick somebody. Say hi. Check in. Where you're from. Your P number if you have one. Yeah, we got some stuff to give away, and then next week we're also going to give something else away. We got to just under 1,500 people, so that's pretty awesome. The group is doing well. We have some future projects for you. The only thing that I really want to say is just be respectful to everybody with the comments and whatnot. It's a weird time right now because we're all going back a lot of us are going back to work at the casino. So I know a lot of you have been called back. So all I really want to say is stay safe and take care of each other. I know like it's such a weird situation that we're in right now. So hi Mike, nice to see you. Hi everyone else that's joined. Make sure you say hi. All right, so I'm just waiting for John to come back on. Um, the channel itself is doing really well. I'm really happy with what we've been providing content wise. I've had a lot of requests to put some more videos in with tutorials and whatnot. I'm gonna have a couple people in for some on break interviews, and what the on break interviews are the nice one-on-one interviews that we have with people, and my goal with those is to get people from around the world, and it's pretty cool because I will have someone coming up soon, and she's from Europe, so it's going to be really cool to talk with her. So, hello, welcome back, John.
Well, hopefully it works a bit better now. My show Wi-Fi is playing. It's been dodgy all day, so it's been dropping even when I was in work. So hopefully it works. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But back to your question, I worked one casino in London, England, which was crazy on Christmas. If you were on the call earlier, the chat earlier, I told you the story. It was crazy. I did maybe three or four on the ships, and they were typically sea days, right? So, but I had one. I used to work on a daily gambling ship out of San Diego, and we used to go from San Diego down to Ensenada, which was claimed to fame as Mexico's biggest tuna port. So you can imagine how how it smelled. And when it was Christmas Day, the port shut, so we actually had it off. It was the only time I'd ever worked on a ship where we had it off. So we I went. We had Christmas Day, Boxing Day, and we ended up going skiing in Big Bear, California, which was really cool. So I'd never skied before, so it was all a mess. But yeah, so I worked about 3 or 4. It was kind of, I don't know, the way it seemed to be from when Ron and I were working is like we'd work one, we'd miss one, we'd work one, we'd miss one. It's just the way our kind of like contracts worked, I guess. But
Yeah.
How about you?
Yeah, it's funny. My one contract, I did work Christmas, and I had New Year's off, and hey, how's it going? Hi, Daryl.
Hey, Dad, how's it going, buddy?
So yeah, on my one contract on the ships, it was funny because if you were tuned in last hour, it was we were talking just about like just bad ships and one time that you didn't even make minimum. Well, when I was on 9/11 happened, and we ended up going to South America at the time. So then a lot of the American passengers, they basically canceled. Like nobody was traveling, and then we were picking up a lot of South Americans. And in South America at the time, there wasn't really any tipping at the casinos that we went to. Nobody accepted tips. So our tips were probably lowest in the fleet. It was kind of depressing. And to your point, you had a story of, like on roulette with like someone being pretty rude. Like I had the same kind of story where this guy was, oh my god, he had a red wine, and this was like the Christmas season, and I was on a busy game and I was on the table. I was just dealing on my own, and this guy like, I was like, no more bets. This guy tipped his red wine, and it went all over the third 12. He didn't even say sorry or anything. Didn't even acknowledge it. He just tipped his wine, and he's like, "23," and that's it. He just started screaming, and I was just like, "Are you kidding?" Like, there's this whole pool of like red blood wine like on the table. I'm like, "Oh my god, this is ridiculous."
Yeah, you just ruined the layout, and he
Oh,
doesn't give it. It
he
doesn't
didn't
care.
even care. I was just like, "Wow, this is insane!" Like, so I mean, like for me, I don't know. It was such a tough time. Like, just to like work Christmas. I mean, that was cool, but the New Year's part of it, oh my god, nobody else in the department had the day off. Like we did draws and I ended up getting it. I wasn't really happy because everyone was like working and they were all together, and here I am like on my own, right? And I like honestly, I never dated anybody when I was on the ships. So then like I was like this single guy, and I was just like by myself for like New Year's Eve, and I'm like, oh my god, this sucks. So depressing.
Yeah,
But
Daryl mentions a great point, though. I think one of the best things about working on the ships was, you know, the Secret Santas, right? And having all that, you know, and the parties. I remember one time my wife and I were off. We were off the night of the Secret Santa party. We had a party after the casino, and on the Rhapsody, I think it's now scrapped, but it was this crazy party. And my wife and I went out and we partied, and then somehow we got these costumes from the youth counselors, and we dressed as elves. And so we had these tights and this weird, you know, elf costume and a hat. And then we partied all night with that. And, you know, we were Santa's little helpers, and Santa was there, and we were giving out prizes, and oh, it was crazy. And at about 7 o'clock in the morning, they came around to our cabin, the youth counselors, because they wanted it back, because they had to go and like do it for their kids to wear this uniform, but it stunk of like smoke and alcohol. Just because we'd be partying, like, you know, it's like you're drinking and hey, and everyone's, oh my god, and it was just like, sorry, we couldn't clean it obviously because we partied the night before. And it was funny because I remember that night. There's a guy, Gary, I won't say his last name, but he was my Secret Santa, and he's on the Royal Caribbean, and he still brings up this story. Got the gift from me. He got me an inflatable sheep. I'm from Wales. So he got me an inflatable sheep, which he blew up and put in a box. He gave me this giant thing of lubricant, which I was like, because when I'm opening them up, I'm like, what the hell is this? You know, and this condom hat. So it's this big rubber condom hat, and before the night ended, somebody stole the lube. So the lube never even left the casino. I went home with like the sheep under my, and the sheep had, you know, realistic orifices too, which was weird. So I took that home in its condom hat, and weirdly enough, I still have that condom hat in my garage. It sat in the box, and my kids were like, "What exactly is that?" It's like, don't worry about it. That was just a fun night out one time your dad had with his mum.
oh man. Daryl, it's funny that you mentioned that actually, because I had video of our Secret Santa, and yeah, so embarrassing. And I was gonna show it this week, but I'm not going to now. So I'm back in 2 weeks. Next week, oh sorry guys, John will be on with Mike next week doing the show, and our special guests will be Michelle and Alex. So tune in next Wednesday for that one. But yeah, let me retract there, and let me just talk about my time on Secret Santa. My present, I can't remember who gave it to me, but I'm gonna have to rewatch the video again. But my present, I think it took me like 20 minutes to open it because they like taped it so hard and everything. And so it's like I'm rewatching this VHS video of like my time on the ship, and that was like basically like half of my whole video, me trying to open this stupid present. And it was like it's just like this little cane, and there's just like a little box, like a candle or something. I'm like, oh my god. So, and you should see what I'm wearing too. I'm just I know why I was single when I was on the ship. So.
Oh, do you want some? Okay, this is completely because you're talking about Secret Santa. One of the first ships I worked on, I think was it the first? It was a Norwegian cruise line. Anyway, I had a. They used to do two things. If you were on a free Christmas, there was always Secret Santa, but they did either you would get a leaving gift or a birthday gift, depending on what. And everyone would put in like 20, $25, whatever, and they would get a gift, right? And I had my birthday on there, and this is what they gave me, and it was my. If I remember rightly, I think I was 23, so they gave me this. So it's a trawl. It was Norwegian Cruise Line, so it's weird that you should bring this up. And it was just that it was stood there, and so this because he's holding a stick. So I literally so many times I tried to steal a crap stick and just cut it off and stick it in there, but I never got around to doing it. And because I was born in June, they're like, oh, Gemini, so the two heads, and this went everywhere. So from 23 till like 30 odd, I took this on all the ships. This thing has been in more parties than most people I ever knew. and when I left, because when I joined Royal Caribbean, the Legend, so I joined, and then my wife, well, my soon-to-be wife, joined 3 months afterwards, and then I left, and then we met again in like a couple of months afterwards. But anyway, so that when I got up, I said, I tell you what, you can keep my trawl until I see you again. So she kept this trawl and it partied on the ships without me. So yeah, so this trawl, I'll tell you a story about that birthday. It's a longer one, but I'll tell you about that because it's kind of funny another time, I guess. But yeah, so this was a gift I had from a ship. And yeah, and the other thing they gave me was a Mont Blanc pen, and I have that somewhere too. So
Oh, no
it's just
way.
weird. It was funny because the joke was I never used to write to anybody because back then there was no internet. You just write cards or letters, and I never wrote to anybody. So and I was like, why would you buy me this like $200 pen? It was just like, what the hell?
Yeah, that was a lot. Yeah, when I was on, what was it? It was Soapy's. Soapy's was the place to be, where they had like the $1 an hour internet that you paid. I think
Oh,
Hawaii was $1 an hour when we were there too. It was just like, wow, and it was so slow. It's like,
yeah, we used to go to that place in San Juan. There was like like an internet cafe. It was cheesy, and you all went there, and you just kind of went on there, and then we was like, oh, an email. This is new. What do I do with this?
people just don't understand the silly fun and parties we had on ships. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. We had one of this guy. Like, I don't know if you guys may have worked with him. His name was. Can I say it? Well, I'm going to say it anyway. His name was Glenn McGoldrick, and he was a cool guy. If any worked with him, he was really funny. He was a great dealer. He was a really great guy. I really liked him. Oscars, that's what it was called. That was that internet cafe. But anyway, Glenn McGoldrick came on. First time away from home. First time away from out of the country. First time on ships. He came on, and we got the purses to write him up an electricity bill. It was his bar bill, but they said they gave it him as electricity bill, and they kind of like doubled it. It was like $500, and it was like, oh my god, what's going on? And they were all in on a joke. All the casino were in on it, and he was like, oh yeah, do you keep the lights on all the time? He's like, yeah, well that's a lot of money. And do you have a fridge? Oh yeah, that's a lot of money. So he was like turning off all the lights and unplugging stuff when he left, his clock and everything. And it wasn't until afterwards when they paid it that they said like, oh yeah, it's just a joke. Here's your money back. Your bar bill's only like $50.
Oh my god. Hey Joel, how's it going?
Hey Joe, how's it going? Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I before I forget? Can I just tell one more story about Glenn, because it's funny and it's stuck with him forever. So anyway, so he gets on. We were doing like 11-day cruises out of San Juan. I think 10, 11-day cruises. So anyway, so he goes there and he goes to this store, like Sport Check equivalent like that, and he buys these runners, right? And he tries on the different size, which ones he wants. So he goes, okay, I'll take these. So he goes and then he gets the shoes and he pays them. He gets back on the ship. When he get back on the ship, he had 2 left shoes. One was an 8 and one was a 9. So that became a dice call. That night, it became a dice call. Well, and then he had to wait, like, I think it was like 3 weeks before we kind of looped back around and went to San Juan. And then he said he walked in the store and he had the receipt and he just put them on the counter and then just looked at them and then he gave him the receipt and they're like, oh, you probably didn't want to left shoes. Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
He was the Legend of the Seas I worked on from like 96 to 97, best contract I've ever had on any company, any ship. Some of the best people I ever worked with, some of the best dealers I ever worked with. Yeah, it was the most fun I ever had in 6 months. It should have been illegal how much fun it was.
Good internet cafe on Times. Did you do New York, John?
Oh yeah, I did it twice.
Oh,
I did New York, Bermuda, one time for 1.5 cruises, and then I got fired in Bermuda, and then I can tell you the stories if you want to listen to this one.
Yeah.
So I worked for this shitty company, and I hated it. And this woman, it was just crazy, and I was like, oh man, I'm done here. I was only going to be there for like 6 weeks anyway. That's all I wanted to go, and but I was there the second cruise. I'm like, I hate this. Even the first cruise, I'm like, I hate this. I want to leave. So the second cruise in, we're in Hamilton. No, sorry, the Royal Naval Dockyard. We're in the Royal Naval Dockyard, and then this the manager comes in. She says, "John, I want to talk to you." And I'm like, "Okay." She goes, "You don't like it, do you?" I'm like, "No, not really." She says, "Okay, you're fired." I was like, "Oh, okay." I said, "When am I leaving?" She goes, "Oh, your flight's at 5." I'm like, "When?" She goes, "Today." So I'm like, "Okay." So I had literally like 3 hours to pack. So I went and I packed, and then I went and tell my friend, and I'm like, "Hey, I just got fired." But I just met her on a ship, and he's like, "No way!" And then the manager came in. She's like, "Glenn,
Mhm.
I need to talk to you." So she brings him up, fires him. So then we end up saying, "Oh my god, this is so." We all pack. We go to the bar, drunk way too much. We come back to the ship because we left our bags at the security there, and then we tell the security guards, "Oh, can you get us a taxi? We've got to go to the airport. Our flight's in like 40 minutes." They're like, "You're never going to get it." We're like, "What do you mean?" It's like, "Oh, it takes you like an hour, whatever it was, to get to the airport." So we're like, "Oh my god, we missed our flights." So normal people would panic. Me and my friend were like, "Hey, let's pretend to be security guards and stop all the passengers getting on the ship." So we were doing all that. Hey, show us your pass, show us your pass. So we did that, and then all of a sudden, these Bermudan police came up. One was huge, and my friend's big, and then one was a little guy, and the big one grabbed me, and the other one. We got arrested for being illegal immigrants. Taken. We went and spent 2 days in a cell before they deported us out to like. And because at the time there used to be only one flight a week from New York to Bermuda. Sorry, from Bermuda to London, right, on a Thursday, and we were going to wait, like literally be in a cell for a week. I was like, "Oh my god!" It was funny when I was drunk, but when I was sober, like, "What the heck have I got myself into?" But it was only eventually 2 days, and they flew us from um, Bermuda to Boston, and my friend's like, "Hey, let's go." Sorry, yeah, his name's Vince. So me and my Vince were like, "Hey," he's like, "Hey, let's go and walk around Boston." I'm like, "You kidding me?" He goes, "Yeah, come on." So we start walking, and we're like, "We're gonna miss our flight." I'm like, "I can't miss another flight." So then we're running, they're calling our names, "Can Vince and John come to flight?" Blah blah blah. So we're running, and we get there. Anyway, so we get on a plane. As we get back into, like, we fly back into London. He's from Birmingham, which is about 300 miles away, 300 kilometers away from where I am. And so we've been in the same smelly t-shirt and shorts for now 3.5 days, right? Vince has zero money. I have money. And we're like, "Okay, what are we going to do?" "Okay, well, let's get on a bus." That was the cheapest way we could get back to somewhere, right? And so we get on the bus. I pay for it. Vince sees these two girls there, and he's like, "Hey, John, let's go and try and chat these girls up. Let's pick them up." I'm like, "Vince, have you smelled yourself? We've been in the same clothes for almost 4 days. We're disgusted." And so by this, like, my mother doesn't even, because back then, I used to stay with my mum, and my mum still thinks I'm in Bermuda. So I get all the way to Birmingham, and I'm like, "Oh, I'll phone my mum." So I phone her up, and I go to her, "Hey, guess where I am?" She's like, "Oh, Bermuda. What's it like there?" "Oh, I hope it's nice." And she's going on. I'm like, "I'm in Birmingham." She goes, "What have you done now?" But the second time was way more. Actually, the second time was the last contract I did on ships, so it was a lot of fun.
Oh,
Yeah, I love Bermuda. It's a great place. New York as well is great.
yeah, I wish I could have gone on that one. Yeah, I never saw that in any of the itineraries for any of the ships that I was going to choose from the second one. But I knew like I said before, I knew I wanted to go to Florida for my second one. But I already went there, so I mean,
Well,
cool.
the thing with, like, Rhonda and I picked it as our last contract because you had like 3.5 days off in Bermuda, which is beautiful,
Yeah.
but you made like shitty money, right? So it was like, well, we didn't care. We're like, well, this is our like chill out. Let's just finish off with a bang, have a relaxing time. And I mean, Bermuda is beautiful. We had so much fun there. And I had an Oilers jersey, and I went back. I bought one in Canada, and I went back there, and there's so many Canadians would run up to me, literally cross the road, and go, "Oh my god, that's my favorite team. I love the Oilers." I was like, "What?" They all knew more about it than I did. You know what I mean? I was like, "Okay."
That's funny. It's funny because I'm like in Vegas and I was like wearing an Oilers t-shirt, and then this guy had an Oilers t-shirt. I'm like, "Go Oilers!" And he just like walked past me. I'm like, "Okay." I was like, "Are you just wearing that for fun, or?" It's kind of weird. I was like,
I
"Okay."
went like the first time my wife went back to Britain. She was pregnant at the time, so with my daughter, which must have been about 18 years ago. And I don't know if hey Joe, how's it going? Yeah, I got some random stories, and I go off on a tangent a lot. So my wife was pregnant, and I don't know if anybody watches Coronation Street, but you can do a tour of the set, right? Back then, the original set, right? So you could do a tour. And my mum has watched it since the 50s. She's loved it forever. So I was like, "Hey, let's go on. We'll take you on a tour. So it's like myself, my wife, my mum, and my niece and nephew. I took them all. We went to this tour, and I wore the Oilers jersey there. And I'm walking around literally a Coronation Street set in like basically in northern England. And then someone runs up to me. He's like, "Oh my God, I love that team. That's my favorite team. I'm an Oilers fan." I was like, "Oh my God, these guys get everywhere." Oh, I know. I worked on the Horizon was the last ship I did. My wife and I from New York, Bermuda, and I can't remember like the one I did for like literally a cruise and a half. So I think I worked 5 shifts. So and then 4 shifts in the 1 week, one night to the second one, and then got fired and kind of the whole deported and sent home and stuff like that. This is the funny thing about that. When they took my, what, like you wear socks, like runners without socks on, they smell really, really bad. Well, I was there and they're like, okay, they're going to put you in this. I've never been, in trouble with police before. And they're like, okay, we're going to take your laces off. And I'm like, why do you want to do that for? They're like, oh, in case you do harm to yourself. I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm like, why don't you just have the shoes? So he's like, okay. So I took them off and the smell, I'm in Bermuda, so they smell really bad. And we were there, it was just like, just, and I had this roommate on that ship, right? And he hated me because I partied a lot. He hated me, and he didn't really speak that great English, and I didn't speak whatever language he spoke. So we didn't really like each other. And so one day, anyway, so my cabin, I talking, and I forgot this story. Oh my God, I totally forgot this for years. So every time we walked to my cabin, I was like, oh my God, this is the smelliest cabin I've ever seen in my entire life. It's just nasty. And anyway, so this one day, the room steward comes up to me, angry as hell, and he's like, "What is this? What is this?" I'm like, "What? I don't know." It was a bag of crushed fish, like like small fish, all like just crushed and mulched, and it was just like gross, right? And I'm like, "Bleh." He goes, "Why are you keeping it under your bed?" I was like, "What? I'm not keeping it under my bed." Someone had gone into the cabin because I never used to lock it. I'm like, I don't care. And they got this fish, they put it underneath the mattress, and it soaked under, and it stunk out the room, and it soaked into the mattress, and the mattress stunk. And the cabin steward was going so mad. He's like, "It ruined the mattress. I had to get a new mattress." I was like, "Oh, I don't know, man. Someone doesn't like me." So I'm not. Yeah, it might have been the my roommate, and those same runners weren't allowed in the room. He wouldn't let them in the room, so I used to stick him in the handrail outside. And obviously, no one stole them because they smelled so bad. But yeah. Oh my God, I forgot. What was the name of that ship? Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, it ended up sinking in in Asia somewhere, but it was when it was sold on. But it was, yeah, that was a crazy 5-day shifts as well.
Oh my God. Well, we got some people on. You guys are lucky, because I said I was going to give away a $25 gift card, and in 2 minutes I will. So, and I think there's a delay, so then maybe it's like 4 minutes, but we're gonna give one away, and I'm assuming Daryl's gonna be the one that wins it because he's the only one commenting right now.
Do you know how I met Daryl?
How did you meet him? Actually, do you want to read the story? I was flying in for what turned out to be last time. Landed in Chicago. They prepared to sell from Friday night to Monday morning. Then let me go. Homeland Security, for some insane reason, didn't want to let me fly to Miami. Turned around to Edmonton. Oh my God.
I met Daryl in an airport bar. I didn't work with him on ships, but my wife and I were coming back, and I think we was in like, I can't remember which one it was. It might have been Calgary. I see someone sat at the bar, and so someone was sat at the bar, and I think he had like a Royal Caribbean something, and I was like, oh my God, he's from the ships. So we ended up just talking at the bar. Like I never knew. We were like, hey, how's it going? Da, da, da. Yeah, and that was the time that my wife and I came back, and every flight it took us 3 days to get back home from like San Juan because every flight was late, and then we missed a connecting one, and they'd have to put us up in a hotel, and we went from like Miami to like San Juan to Miami to Montreal, and Montreal to Calgary, and Calgary to Edmonton. it was Toronto. Yeah, we met him in the Valencia Road. It was the strangest thing. And we're like, hey, how's it going? And then we met up again in Calgary, and then we were drinking in the bar in Calgary, and then so it was really surreal. It was kind of cool.
Oh, nice. Joel, so surreal from the Caribbean through Canada to the cobbles of Corey.
Yeah, honest to God, I was never surprised. I was so surprised that there's so many Oilers fans like everywhere. It was like, what? It was like in the weirdest places too, like Coronation Street tour and downtown Bermuda.
Okay, look at this, John. 30 minutes in, like I said, we're gonna try this. Daryl, you're the front runner right now, but I see you might have some competition. We are going to give away. Hold on, let me hide this first. We're gonna give away a gift card right now. Yeah, let's do it right now. I'm gonna show this video, and this is probably how we're gonna give more stuff away in the future. This is gonna be a roulette payout. If you calculate the payout and you're the first person to put it in the comment section and it's correct, you'll win a $25 gift card. Let us know where you're from. It's $25. If you're international, 25 US. If you're in the Philippines, 25 pesos, whatever. So this is cool. Good luck, everyone. Here we go. I'm gonna start it now. I don't think there's music to it though. Oh, is it working? No.
Can't see it.
Oh no, that sucks. Okay, well, hang on. We'll try that again. Oh, see, Daryl, yeah, you are the front runner. If I could get this to actually work, you are the front runner. I might just have to just play it off of my phone. Oh yeah, technical difficulties. But yeah, give us like a couple more minutes, and then we can probably do it again. Oh, all right. Yeah. So
10. Would it be funny? It's like 35.
7 alleys. How come it's not working? Anyways. Oh my god, John. I'm my time on the ships. I'm like, you know, it's one contract, but still, like, my whole story of like getting back was ridiculous. And like, I got stopped in like South America, and they almost didn't let me get on on the plane flight home. It took me like 39 hours to get home from Valparaiso, Chile, from South America. I had to go to Miami, I had to go to Toronto, I had to come back. And when I was in the airport, we got there and it was 12 o'clock. Did I tell you the story? I don't
No.
remember if I did. So we get to the airport and it was like, rip open my, my itinerary. I look at like my plane flight. It's 12 in the afternoon and I look, it's 10 p.m. My flight is at 10 p.m. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever had to do. I had to wait 10 hours in an airport. I couldn't even leave the airport. So I was stuck there. But I was there with another dealer from South Africa and I was with a dancer from LA. And we ended up just sitting at this table and they had liquor. So I ended up like drinking, I think it was like 10 Budweisers. And I got so hammered. And this is like, I think it was like 6 o'clock. It was only 6 o'clock. So I still had like 4 hours to go. I felt so gross. I went to the washroom and I like passed out. I couldn't get up. I was face down in the stall. My feet were out of the ends. And I swear like my wallet was out. And I thought someone was gonna just like take my wallet. Like I was so beat up. I tried to like get up. I think I was out for about an hour and a half. An hour and a half. Like nobody even helped me, which was like I was like, oh my god, this guy's like sleeping or whatever. I get up and it's so busy in Santiago, and I was just like, okay, fine. I'm all hammered. I tried to get, I tried to get in line, and then we're doing like, the whole thing with the clearing and security. They stopped me and they like pulled me off to the side. I'm like, what the fuck's going on, right? Nobody spoke English first off, so they're speaking to me in Spanish, and I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. They had to wait like half an hour. They bring someone out, and the guy's like, your passport, it isn't valid. I'm like, what do you mean it's not valid? It's like, this is my passport. He's like, no, no, no. Your passport from like when you were going from Callao to, so like, I guess like when you go to like Chile or Peru or whatever, I think it's Chile. Anybody on, correct me if I'm wrong, but you had like this document, and I have one here somewhere. I'll have to find it, but you get it for the day. Well, when we were going to Callao, like the last port before we went to Valparaiso, I didn't get off. So like I didn't get that sheet. So they were pissed off because they're like, "Where's that sheet? Where's that sheet?" I'm like, "I didn't even get off the boat. So what am I supposed to do?" So I didn't get my temporary sheet. So they were flipping out about it. Then this guy came, and like I'm hammered, right? And I'm just like trying to talk, and I'm like slurring. I'm like, "This is stupid." It's like good thing like they didn't, they didn't realize it, but whatever. They ended up just like clearing me after, and I just made it on to the plane flight. I get on to 767. It's this huge thing, and I'm sitting beside like these two really big guys, and I was so out of it. They were so warm because they were so big, so I fell asleep. I woke up once in this 7-hour flight. I woke up once. There was food in front of me, and I couldn't even like lift my hands to like eat it. I went back to it, and I woke up again. The little screen on the in the front showed the plane at Miami. And like the best flight of my life. It was like 7 hours. I was passed out the whole time.
I
I
was
didn't
kind of
miss
hoping that you woke up and you were like, and then I was spooning with the big guy. I was the little spoon. But that's a funny story, man.
there's a spoon story, John, and I'm not gonna talk about it, but yeah, it has something to do with a greyhound, and yeah, I'm sorry, Luna.
See,
Anyways,
now I'm curious if it was a greyhound bus or a greyhound dog. I'm like, because this gets into some really, really weird situations. It could be both.
some people will never know. I know Sebas brought up some story about yeah, Sebas brought up some story about me sneaking out of the basement of the house. So I don't know if we'll ever get to that.
Yeah,
Uh,
I got lots of scandal stories I probably couldn't tell on something like this. So I kind of like, okay, maybe I can filter them out. I mean, I've already like I tried to mix up. I don't say the real names of people just because it's like, oh man, I know they still work in the business, so they probably don't want that stuff. And they now obviously the time I've been out and the time in senior like executive and directors positions, I'm like, yeah, they don't want to know about what we were doing in the Dead Sea in Israel.
oh my god. Still get Christmas cards from one of them.
Well, from someone on a ship.
I think so, yeah.
I was asked, does he still get Christmas cards from an internet cafe?
Yeah. Maybe.
He was so popular. That was awesome. Actually, Daryl is awesome. I love Daryl. He's so cool. So did you get the video running?
Um, let's see. I see it on my screen, but it's not showing. Maybe I should just take a. Here, I will just. I know what to do. I'll just
Like
take a screenshot.
a screenshot and then post it.
Yeah. Jay Lee from one of his. Jay Lee from one of his seed buddies. Yeah. I swear they were two really big guys and they were super warm. That's all I remember. And it was just I couldn't stay awake because it was nice and cozy. And it was like you in the 767 there's like 3 8 3 whatever it is, and I had to be like right in the middle of these guys. I think they were related too. I'm like, how did I get like a seat between like these guys? Whatever. I'm not gonna not gonna complain. Oh man. Okay, I do have the screenshot. Let's give this away.
This is like fifth week running. We're gonna try and give it away.
Oh. Technical
I
difficulties. Yeah,
Okay,
go ahead. Tell me a story.
I'll tell you a story. This is a story, just because you know what I mean. I come on here and it just reminds me of stories that because you said, oh, I got, these big guys. So does anybody remember the Blair Witch Project? Well, I saw that. My wife and I saw that movie in a really small theater, like cinema in Bermuda, right? So I had this really weird kind of like aversion to feet, and I hate them like with a passion. Like I've always told my wife, I love her from the ankles up. And so we go and see Blair Witch when it pretty much first came out. So we didn't really know uh, what it was about. So we go there and we sit down in this really small theater, and I'm sat next to this was myself and my wife was here, and then there's these two like really big ladies, and they were sat like a couple like next to us. And as we're watching the movie, they're getting like super like loud and like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, they get really into it. Right? And they go, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And I remember sitting there and I was getting really into it, and so I put my hand down to hold my wife's hand, and I'm holding her hand, and I'm watching this movie, and I'm like, something's not right. This is weird. What's going on? And I looked down. My wife had took off her sandals and was sat cross-legged, and I was holding her foot. And as soon as I realized I was holding her foot, I went, ah! I jumped up, and these two ladies next to me were like, ah! And everyone in front of me was like, ah! So they all thought I was scared of the movie. I was just really, really scared of my wife's foot.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. I remember watching that movie. Yeah, it was at the mall too, but I ended up sitting in like the dead center, and I didn't want to, and I got so sick from like the running. It was just like, bleh. I'll never even like. That was the worst. There's like a few movies that give me that motion sickness, but that was like one of the worst by far. So
Yeah, it was kind of freaking me out. So did you get a screenshot?
I sent it to you, which is funny because I have it on like two different ones here, and for some reason I don't see it on this one. Oh man. Okay, I promise to do this.
Daryl mentioned something. He said the longest sprint ever. Did anyone remember seeing that movie, The Croupier? and you could tell all the dealers, like as soon as it starts, I don't know if you remember if you ever watched it, but the opening scene, you can hear a ball, like the ball spinning. And I remember when we were sat there, and I went in with a group of dealers. We went to watch in Garno Theatre, I think it was. And we were sat there watching, and then we're all like, hang on a minute. How long is this spin? It was going on like for way too long, like impossibly long. We're like, that's not real. So already the movie hasn't started, and we're already like jaded. Like, I think it's going to be bad. They've already faked the spin.
Okay. All right. Okay. I got it now. So I have the screenshot of the payout. The first person to get this payout wins the $25 gift card. Whatever. We'll figure it out next week, and we'll do a better job. I'm sorry, but we're still learning, okay?
If it's any consolation, I was trying to drive the bus earlier on, and I was terribly bad at this. So Jaylee doing a way better job than this than I will.
Okay. Here, I don't even know the payout. I'm hoping that it's clear. But here we go. Ready, guys? First person to get the payout, put it in your comments, and you win the gift card. Here we go. Ta-da! I don't even remember what the payout is. I'm gonna have to get my calculator out.
I love Daryl. He's like, this is my favorite one. Oh my god, great job, Daryl. That's awesome. It's still interesting.
Okay, I know it. Oh, who's that? Who said it? John, do you have your comments on?
Yeah, it says Facebook user, so we can't see.
Facebook user, congratulations!
Okay, so now we'd have to go onto Facebook to see who posted it then, right?
Yes.
All right, let's try and.
It wasn't. It wasn't me, guys. It wasn't me. Oh my god.
Oh, actually, Daryl said 30. Did Daryl say 307? Or is Daryl just trying to cheat?
No, there's someone that said it first.
No, but I'm looking on it. Daryl says saying it's 307. So I don't know. Is it like a disputed call? Stewart inquiry?
Oh my god. How come I can't see who this is? I'm gonna find out right now. But it's looking like 307 is the answer. I think that's the consensus. So, oh, here we go. Here are the comments. What? Okay, it is Daryl.
It says Darlene Workman in another one.
Oh, wait. Yep, it could be Darlene. Oh, the drama. Who was it at 9:50?
So,
Oh my god.
there you go.
Yeah. Did you figure it out, John?
No, I didn't even bother.
Okay.
I was like, I can't win it. Okay, so straight up in the splits, it'll be 259 and 48, 307.
It is 307. Yes, very
Yeah.
good. Now it's just who said 307 first. I see Daryl's name, but Facebook user wins. And if that's Darlene, Darlene wins.
We'd have to figure out a way for Darlene to get hold of or you need to figure out how we can deprive your son of his Christmas present of $25. Yeah.
I think this one.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I think it's Darlene. Hey, that was fun. But it was supposed to be a video and like with some like suspense music and everything. So
I kind of like your Star Wars Lego dolly.
Yes, it's always a new Lego guy, so that's what makes it cool, right? So, all right, thank you so much for participating, guys. Sterling, nice try, buddy. Nice try.
So, Sterling, I'm glad you liked my foot story. Literally, I forgot all about that. And to be honest, this is like one of the reasons I like coming on here, because it kind of like we talk about stuff, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh my god, I forgot about that story. Like literally, I don't think I've talked about that foot story in, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years. I don't know. I forgot all about it, to be honest. But yeah, it just kind of, all this stuff just gets randomly brought up. So it's kind of fun to do this.
Did I tell you about? Because we were just talking about like craps drills and whatnot, which is really cool to have for like a Saturday, and you know, it'd be cool to get some people like with like roulette drills, shuffle drills, and whatnot. But I remember my ex, who I was with, the first time that she watched you come in, she told me like, I was like, yeah, the John is amazing, because for me, like one of the number one things is casing your layout. So she said that what you did the first time was it would be like a 7 winner, and you were looking at the line and you're just like, and then you would come out and actually, like, I think you backpicked that. I don't remember if you backpicked that first one, but you ended up just paying out like the whole line in one shot, and like nobody ever saw that. So it was actually pretty cool. But she was telling me about that, and then she's telling me about how you were snapping up the chips. So then I was just like, oh, who is this guy? I need to watch him. And then like when I watched you deal the first time, it was just like amazing. So I really like that story about like how you didn't get the job at the one casino. So,
yeah, it was awesome. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if anybody knows about it. Yeah, but I would say I don't think. Well, ever since I kind of dealt to a certain level, I pretty much always got a dealing job somewhere. The only time I didn't get it was I did a craps table test in the Yellowhead, actually when it was during construction. And so I went in there, and it was 1998 because I came to Edmonton to get married, just come off the ships. So I was like, okay, I've been dealing quite a few years. I was like, okay, and Rhonda, my wife, knew a guy, and said, hey, can you give John a table test? So I went in there, and it was Jimmy Wolf, I think, was the guy who gave me a table test, and there's maybe one of the two other people. And I ended up dealing for like, I don't know, it seemed like an hour. It was long. And they were trying to get all complicated. And I remember looking, and I'm on the right-hand side of the table, because like I said, I always kind of snag the left-hand side. On the right-hand side of the table was full of people watching, and it was the weirdest thing ever. I was like, this is odd, but whatever, I don't care. So I was dealing, and then they didn't give me the job. I was like, I just dealt for an hour, and you would like, they were trying to do like the dopey stuff. I was like, whatever, yeah, okay, whatever. And yeah, I didn't get the job. Only time I never got off a craps table test. I didn't get a job. So it was funny.
How many people were there? Because you said there was quite a few that were like watching on the one side.
Yeah, it was. It was probably, I'd say, at least 5 or 6 people watching on the one side. At least 5 or 6. And then, I don't know, 2, maybe 3 or 4 people playing. I mean, it was 22 years ago, so it's kind of hard to remember. But I remember the Bob afterwards came up to me and he said, yeah, I don't think they knew what you were doing. I was like, oh, I'm okay, but so I was like, okay, and I never, so I never ended up working there. So I only ever dealt craps in the Palace Casino. That was the first and only Canadian casino I ever dealt in.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so it's I don't know how many people are watching tonight. We have a huge 9 people watching. Oh, hey, this is kind of cool. I didn't know you can do this. We can see who's actually where they're from. So what platform it's on. So on Facebook, there's 4 people watching from yours, Casino Industry 4, and on YouTube 1. Cool. So yeah, so
it's been smooth as sandpaper.
Yeah, this is I tell you what, 5 or 10 more years of this, and we'll be so smooth. And I'll literally, by then, I'll have my whole life story be on these YouTube channels, and you'll be like, "Yeah, see you, Dal."
Yeah, we're almost done here. Yeah. I believe it's Darlene that won.
Yeah, I think it sounds like Darlene was there.
I think you said you saw the Darlene one, right? Because I'm like looking here.
Yeah, Darlene was on one of the posts. I saw it, and it said that she was she'd won it, so she won. Yeah, so this has been really fun. Again, I like doing this, talking to people, and that we used to work with, and exchanging stories and having a laugh. And I get to be honest, it was the guy. Yeah. I also have another story about that Nagano story, but I don't want to say it on here publicly because it may embarrass somebody. But it was funny. What about these weird, funny stories about cinemas and watching shows? But anyway, maybe offline when we're having a beer sometime, I'll tell you a funny story about what happened. Maybe if Dylan, if you would, I can't remember who was with us. I know you might have actually seen what happened. But anyway, it was funny.
I only got up to PI4 on my phone pinged. Where are you living there, Joel? 4 a.m.? I'm so glad I picked up.
What's that? That's like 7 hours ahead. Is he in the UK?
Probably. I'm thinking Europe because it should be. Yeah. Hey, Joel. Nice try.
Hey, Joe. I think Joe was going for like the speed round where just say a number. I just say a number to be the first. Like, boom, I just want to be the first one to say a number. Doesn't
I was so disappointed because it's a full video. So I don't know. We'll try a full video. I'll have it set up for next week. I know it's more of like a poker and like it's Alex and Michelle and it's their experience, like like leaving Edmonton. I think that's like the big thing about it. I'm excited to hear their stories. But we'll do another giveaway for sure, and then I promise to have that video on, and then John, all you have to do is click it. Hopefully.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and by the way, I never dealt poker. I know nothing about poker, so I'll be literally the idiot out of the 3 people there who know poker really well. So yeah, it'll be fun.
Oh yeah, no, don't worry about it, John. You just click everything and all the comments and stuff. And the thing about poker is that everyone will just tell you what to do anyways. So.
Okay, this has been fun, guys. I gotta go. I have to get up to work in the morning. So
Yeah.
Remember, sign up for Jay's channel, the Casino Dealer Jay, whatever it is. Can't do
Thank
it all
you.
wrong.
Thank you. Okay, one more time. I just want to say thank you for
Yeah.
joining our group there, guys. Totally
Yeah, we're
appreciate it.
almost at 1,500 people. I think we should try and get more, just so we can. Yeah, I think it's kind of a cool way to meet new people around in
Yes.
the casino industry. So, okay,
Thank you.
see you guys.
Thank you. Okay, guys, take care.
Goodbye.